I am nature, dude. And I've got higher resolution than you do. Any day of the week, I am more resolved. I am more dissolved. I am just more of everything. Do you want to see some interesting picture of me sitting here? Do you? Well, where's the camera want to go? That is always the question. On the station of my mind. And the paranations of all the nations. Do you know, when I'm out here by myself, I think about things all the time. Do you know what I think about? Do you know what I think about most? I think about all the people who fucked me. And I picture myself fucking them back. Fucking them real good, too. Like it makes them bleed. But I don't have any anger. I don't have any anger. I just want to make their pussies bleed. Their anal tubes. I want them to not be able to fire any torpedoes for a long time. Okay, there we go. That's a interesting angle. See? No one can hear you here. Hello, I'm dying. Help me. I have bags of money. Go. You believe. You believe that people have a certain fate. Do you think that people have a certain fate? Do you think that people with bad lives, or at least lives they don't like very much, do you think it's their fault? I'm not trying to set anybody up here. I'm just trying to set up the parameters for the discussion. I know what I think. I think I reserve the right to think differently depending on the situation, but or do you think that people just kind of an uncontrollable series of bad events that lead to, for lack of a better term, catastrophic or shocking changes to their worldview that just makes things that might seem simple for you a lot more difficult for them? I mean, isn't life exciting? Who doesn't want to grow up and get a job and join the volleyball team and travel and go follow the Red Cross or join the Merchant Marines or all the incredible things that people do? Like, how could you ever be depressed? There's so much to do. There's so many ways you can help people, so many ways you can help yourself, so many things you can learn, organizations you can join, people you can learn from. How could you be depressed? I mean, aside from, yes, clinical depression, but if it was based on at all on attitude and you didn't mind a good talking to, would you say, hey, come on, come on there, chop chop. Look, there's lots of things you can do. Come on, man, you're dead. You can do it. Here, look, I've got a little league team. You can win every game. Come on, these little suckers can't even catch you. Build up your confidence. People say that life is the story you tell yourself, and that if you don't like your life, tell yourself a different story, or just lose your story altogether. But I've met people, and I guess, I mean, maybe this is a bad thing on my part, but I do. I meet people who do that. I don't meet everyone who's done that, but I meet people who've done that, and when they've done that, the story they build makes me not want to be around them. When you turn off pain with a new story, your story makes you look like a narcissist. You know, I don't imagine ever walking in this world and I'm going to meet a nice woman who's going to want to hear me talk about. I mean, she's going to have to spend the rest of her life with me. Like, oh, my boyfriend Landon. Oh yeah. Oh, hey Janine. He's having kind of a day where he's feeling in shock, so he really just needs to be by himself today. And he's like, well, Landon's in shock a lot. It's like, yeah, but stuff shocks him, and he can shock a lot. And he just needs someone to understand that, he goes through a lot of shock. Okay, have a good one. And shock can render you quite helpless. As much as I need to go to the bathroom, if I get up feeling shock, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going somewhere with my mom in the car, and I'm in shock. We're gonna have to talk about something. And what happens is I always end up talking about the most important thing. I always end up asking the right question, which is like the wrong question, and so things come up. And that's me. And fortunately, I made it through today, and my mom made it through, and we had an okay time. I wasn't looking to her to end my shock. I didn't project it onto her. I just said, hey, I'm in shock today too, and I'm gonna go off and hopefully feel better. I do feel a bit better, but in a sense, talking about it makes it worse. It would be nice to talk about other things. It's in deference to which, think about all the people not talking about shock today. I mean, there's YouTube channels where, there's probably aren't a lot of YouTube channels where people talk about the same thing every day, but I imagine it's the same sort of thing. Cars, bras, whatever. A certain attitude, a certain brand. And all the top YouTubers are royalty, probably, I suspect. Which means they're professional actors. Professional people. The whole point of the entire profession of acting at the professional level in the world, on the world stage, is to manage people. Why wouldn't there be actors on YouTube? Any place people are managed, there will always be actors. I've had things in my life where I simply could not look away. I could not just bow out of something. I saw or experienced violence. And do you know what happens when people don't call that violent? I call that violent. Well, the next time I'm standing at a bus and the door doesn't open because the driver wants me to knock upon it, should I call you? And wherever I go, strangely and ironically, but I think positively enough, wherever I go, that I've needed to go in my fate or destiny, my path through life, I have drawn out violence. That's an awful way to put it, isn't it? Violence has happened around me. There is some semblance of provocation on my part. I suspect there are provocations on my part. I'm not saying you could ever account for those, but victims of anything usually have some provocation. It means I'm a man, I'm this, I did this, I said this to somebody, think I'm this person, whatever it is, right? You're just that person today that I need to do this with.
but people don't realize it. They only pick certain people, and there's other people they would never pick. That they're free of ever being picked on by you or me, for instance. And so I've drawn violence out of just about anywhere that I go. So it's only understandable that I would be on this side of the river today in this forest where I'm just, literally a 2-minute walk back to the river. But literally nobody, if I sat here for 500 years, probably nobody but people working for the government would ever walk in here. You could just live back here. I mean, shit, I'm surprised nobody is. It's, you know, you could be surprised, like, for all the homeless people around there, they don't live out in these woods. At least nobody would bother them. I suppose you could say they might have to worry about bears, but it's not like they have a lot of food, really, to worry about. And bears around here aren't predatory. Again, at most they're hungry. So you hang your food up or something. But a reason though people don't, I'll tell you this about places like this, is because it's close to a river. And anything close to a water body is always colder. You'll notice that the air coming off of it, everything is just colder. It just seeps through the entire forest. If you're sitting around for a while, you can feel it. If it's not sunny and it's another Canadian day, it's not really the best place to be. I mean, I think if someone were homeless, you'd need like a self-warming bodysuit, at least, that just regulated your body temperature in all conditions, and then it'd be like, at least you had that. You could walk around, and the suit could, be charged somehow using your testicles or something. It's like, recharge at night. You just, lost your semen count. But that's why people build regular shelters, right? They don't live in tents in Canada throughout the year unless they have it nicely heated, you know. You see people living, in their vans on YouTube and stuff. Remember, they have all the right equipment to do it. You have to have, and they don't usually enumerate it, but like they should put a checklist. Like if you want to live in a van, or you want to live in your car, these are the 100 things that you have to have, and not because you work for the company or something. You really have to have, like, you're going to want to, seal the windows or something. You're going to want to have tinted windows. You're going to want to have a good heater. You want to have a car that runs on this or has extra batteries. You're going to want some this stuff and blankets and toilet paper and every, 100 things that you need. This, a cell phone, whatever to keep you warm, whatever to help you get, food, whatever to keep hot liquid, to pee in, If you're in a cold car somewhere and it's snowing outside, how do you take a crap? You better get a tight lid on that thing, Ooh. And then what do you do with it? It's like, people tend to be a little laissez-faire about their crap once they've dealt with it, stage one. It's like, how do you know they're not taking the can and just throwing it in the garbage somewhere? It's like, whoa, look what I found, Zeke. Woo-wee. This is 100-year-old crap in here. Good find for the scavenger enthusiast. I think I'm gonna get going. Let's just do it. I'm gonna go get in the sun. There's no reason for me to stay in the cold, and I feel a bit better, so that's good. Yeah, that's the main thing. I feel better. I came in here feeling one way, and I feel better. So prognosis looks good. Let's not waste time getting cold. I find that this time of year I have to be very careful not to splurge or splooge with my time too much. So, this is me getting back on the trail.
feeling a little stronger, and I've had, yeah, whew. Oh, I'm going to get a different